a new podcast. If you can see my screen behind me, it is called Coffee with Cream. And so I want to ask you ladies, why? Why did you say yes when I asked you to be a part of this all Black woman podcast for Black women?
Hi, I'm Stacey Cash, and I said yes simply because I want to see us as Black women come together and heal, not so much heal each other, but work towards learning from one another, building up on our own healing process, and also being able to just uplift and just hold each other accountable for the things we try to make excuses for. So I just want to see us as Black women just come together and just love on one another.
And hi guys, my name is Dr. Tina. I am so glad to be here with you. And my why was one of the same as Stacey's. I want us to have a safe place for our healing. I think that as Black women, we've all been through something at some point in our lives, and that we need to stay in a constant state of doing our own work and be in a safe environment and doing that with like-minded individuals. And that was my why, and that's why I said yes.
Thank you. My why is I wanted to create a sisterhood. I have all sisters. I have 3 sisters, and one of the things is that the connection between us is so powerful, and I want that amongst my girlfriends. I want that network. I want that camaraderie, that I'm pushing you forward. You know what I'm saying? That constant push forward, that belief in you can do better, be better. And so what I want to do is elevate us, because we are the invisible women of our society. Everybody gets attention on some level, and the attention we get is negative, but I want to uplift us. I want to elevate us. I want to take us to that next level. So that's my why. My why is that, yes, we need some healing. Yes, we need to have a safe place. Yes, we need to talk about that ugliness that is holding us back, whether it's us or the system in some way. But anyway, that's my why. My why is I just want us to be uplifted.
Okay.
But also I was looking at, when I was thinking about this, I said,
My goal is to accomplish sisterhood, letting sisterhood know, even though we may come from different backgrounds, different cultures, but we are sisters, and when you look at the logo, Coffee with Cream speaks for itself, because when you look at us as Black women, we're like a big pot of gumbo. You just throw ingredients in there, and once you mix us up, you'll really see we have a lot in common. We all have been through some kind of trauma. We've all been through those ups and downs, but we all have some things that we can celebrate together. And my goal is to show us as Black women that instead of us coming behind one another trying to tear each other down, let's lift each other up. That's my goal. And not be afraid, and not also to let them know that, hey, I'm not going through this alone. That, they talk about the things that people hear my story, they can say, hey, it's okay. It's okay for me to talk about these things. It's okay for me not to go hide. So that's really what my goal is.
Oh, shoot.
Tina, I'm gonna need you to get together, Susanna, Judah. Oh, and the other goal is to help Tina get it together over there, because she's doing the most.
You leave my Tina alone. She trying. She doing the best she can.
She got neon.
Go. There you go.
Yeah, me some. I don't know what that was. That was a little spooky. Okay, so with our podcast, I'm just a big one on I want us to all I want as women, as specifically Black women, to have a safe place to heal, because we've all had some stuff. And if you're Black and you're a woman, and you haven't, then I want to meet you. Because I don't know.
Amen.
Amen. And I want us to be able to have a platform that is safe, for women to feel safe, to be able to come and be nurtured and inspired and loved on and, sparked, and just a safe place to heal. Because I think where we're at in today's world, baby, we need some healing. Like, for real. And on from A to Z, as small and very large. I think we need that. And we need that together. And that's not something we can do alone.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think we almost need to do it together. I think we almost have to, lean on each other to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because Absolutely. I think a lot of us, I know each of you and myself, we have for a long time, we have some girlfriends, but we are, we kind of keep to ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Because of all the other stuff that has happened amongst with other women, that we kind of like, we keep our circle small, and that's fine. I'm good with that. But we also know that we have to sometimes, like Stacey was saying, we have to share our stories, because we never know in sharing our stories how healing it can be for somebody else. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so when you do that, that's why one of the things that I was saying, for us for me, I want to also highlight, or spotlight women that are doing things or making a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Even if we don't give them a lot of time, it just really depends on what they got going on. But I wanna take at least one episode a month and highlight somebody, if not both episodes, and highlight them and say, hey, what you got going on. So I think that's part of our advertisement, at least to begin with. Like I said, I was kind of around with the commercials, doing a commercial like, hey, we're gonna start this new podcast. It's about Black women. My co-hosts are these two wonderful ladies right here. And, we want to hear your story. You know what I'm saying? Right. We want you to get in touch with us. We want to know what you're doing. We want to know the difference that you're making. We want to hear your story, because we're going to be talking about stuff that affects us, uniquely affect us as Black women, and how to overcome that, what we're doing with that. And so building a community, a support network, and encouragement, mentorship, all of those things is what we're trying to accomplish in Coffee with Cream. It's that richness that we're trying to create in that sisterhood,
Because, you and Tina are the coffee, baby, I'm the cream.
Girl, did she just say that?
I think she did.
Look, I couldn't help myself.
I was going to say, now, sister, you coffee, the strong, the bold, and we got to put some.
You got to have a good sense. You got to have a good humor going, because something like.
I know a lot already gets put on the Black woman, but I think that if we take that step forward in strengthening our families, that everybody else will follow. Our children will follow. Our men will follow. But it takes somebody to take that first step. And I think that in doing so, I think that that's where the passion is. And so that's where my passion is. And so that's why I say full body, because it's the full spectrum. I think that we all embody that.
Yeah.
But
absolutely,
I think that Coffee with Cream is about renaming and reclaiming, right? So we're gonna redefine how people see Black women in society, and how we see ourselves, because sometimes we beat up on ourselves unnecessarily. And so I think that we need to embrace some of those negative stereotypes, right? And figure out how we can redefine them to benefit us. And so, Coffee with Cream is something that is about rich conversations. It's about rich conversations. For me, that's where that cream comes in. That Stacey keep trying to say is her. Therapist mode, or that kind of interview mode, and you guys are, you guys can bring the realness back into it. And that's why I think it's important for us for it to be more than just a single woman platform. It needs to be the three of us, or it needs to be us and making it happen, because the uniqueness in each of us, you know, that bold, that strength, and that full body, you know, I just think that that's so important for us to bring to the table. So
awesome.
Plus, too, we're realizing people are watching us, you know, like, oh, go ahead, Tina. I'm sorry.
I'm just clowning. I just said,
oh,
both
but
of y'all,
like I was saying, can you hear me?
Yeah.
But I was saying, like we said once before in other talks, people are watching us, and people want to know that they are talking, or that they see real women talking who comes through all walks of life. Because sometimes I can see people on some podcasts, and I just think they full of it. Like, you know, the way that they talk and some of the things that they say. I want you to know that I've been on the battleground, and I'm still on the battleground, and I have some scars. You know, I'm gonna be on the battleground to the day I die. But the thing is, I don't allow the battleground to define me. I don't let it put me down off in the trenches where I can't jig myself out the trenches. Because be clear, you know, as Tina said, living in the world that we got going on today, we always have to stay guarded with our armor. We have to be ready to go to battle. And every Black woman is not strong enough to do that, because they don't feel that they can fight the good fight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And the thing is that sometimes you grow weary. Sometimes you grow weary. You just do. You know, sometimes. I'll be honest. Like, when you was looking for a job, right? You grow weary. Girl, because it's the system is set up, you know, not to help you or support you, but
to help you win, for sure.
Yeah, like when I was going through the stuff with the child support system, I promise you, baby, I was about to show them what an angry Black woman was. You understand what I'm saying? I was about to show you really what I could be.
Right. It ain't easy.
You know what? Going through that, you know, many days you and I talk, Chandra, and some days I just had to moan. Not so much cry, but moan. But then I realized, I began to question, like, you know, God, I don't understand. I have all the qualifications. I got all these years on me. I could do this with my eyes closed. What happened was, what he was trying to tell me, Stacey, it's not that you can't do it. I need you to humble yourself, because you're walking in with the attitude like, I can do this. See me, you know, I can beat them out. You know, they're just men. But then I got to the point, I said, it's not about me. This is way bigger than me. And when I humbled myself on that last interview, I said, where do you need me to be? If you want me, I'm here. Period. This job that I have now, the beautiful thing of it is, God blessed me with a job working from home. That's what I asked for. He blessed me with the salary that I've been fighting to get. And this job has nothing to do with what I've been doing for the past 25 years. And you know what? It was because he was trying to tell me, that ain't where I want you. So stop trying to fight against me and go against the grain. And when I set my behind down and said, stop crying, dust yourself off, listen to what I'm trying to say to you, and it was just so funny. Simultaneously, it happened. I was like, that's what you was trying to tell me. Because we got to we can get in our own arrogance. We really can.
We mostly get in our own way. And it's not until we surrender to the will of whatever it is that you believe in that you begin to see differently. Because you can't run from you. Running and jumping and, you know, here and there and there and there. You can't run from you. Can't do it. So wherever you go, you gonna be there. So let's look in the mirror. So I'm really looking forward to this. I really am. I'm looking forward to all the women around the world whose lives will be blessed as a result of us showing up. And it's gonna be a beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to it.
I agree.
In the midst of the chaos. In the midst of it all.
Oh yeah. And I think that it's time.
Yes.
I think it's time. And again, I want all Black women to listen to us, because, you know, there's some wisdom in our age, but, you know, everybody's doing something. There's a lot of podcasts out there that's meeting the needs of the 20s and the 30s, but nobody's doing the mature Black woman experience. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
I
girl.
think that we can touch all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because we've been through all of that. We've been through our 20s and our 30s, and
Right.
we are entering into a seasoned age where we can look back and say, yeah, I could have did that different. That's one of the things, like the things I want my daughter to know, whether you have a daughter or not. You have nieces and that kind of the things I need my daughter to know about whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you ladies something?
I like it. How can I pour you today?
That's right.
I love
So
I love it.
because I want to know what our why is. You know what I'm saying? Because that right there is going to be, when you know what your why is, that determines how you move, right? So my why is to create this community of sisterhood that is powerful, that is loving and nurturing. And yes, we're gonna talk about some ugly stuff, but we're gonna also talk about how we move through it. So that's my why. That's my why. My why is being real. Because one of the things is that a lot of us are afraid of is standing in our own truth.
Right. Like people are afraid of their authentic self, and
Yes,
they've been.
They are. There are a lot of. And look, there was a time when I was. You know what I'm saying? I've always been on.
It's called being exposed.
Huh?
It's called exposed. It's called exposed.
Right.
And so that part, and it's easy to get so far away from your authentic self because you pretended so long.
Yes.
And social media does not help in that area. People pretend so long. You don't even know who you really are anymore.
Right.
Because you put on this facade for so long, who I'm projecting. Yeah. That's not my authentic self.
Right. And y'all know me, and I believe that's the same thing. That's one of the things, I said real, but really what it is that draws me to you all, y'all are authentic. It's the authenticity between
the two. What you get, girl. What you get.
And I can take it a step further. I say that, sometimes we look at negatives as, oh, that's such a bad thing. But to me, negatives are a blessing. Because without those negatives, how am I going to learn to do better? Also, with those blessings sent to me, they come to me to be sent through me to help bless you. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you look at your negatives, my negative was, oh, I can't find a job. Oh, I feel like I'm about to lose my car. But once I sat my behind down and returned those negatives around and said, you know what, Stacey? So what if you lose your car? Yeah. So what right now you don't have a job? Look, you got a roof over your head, you got food to eat, your twin got a car, you can come and go as you please. And I thought to myself, when there's a man, woman, or maybe a whole family that's living under a bridge,
yes,
what are you complaining about?
Yes.
So that's how I had to turn my mindset. So a lot of times when I hear somebody getting into that complaining mode, I'm like, what are you complaining about? Think of
that shut down and
and get in their feelings and get in their emotions, and the task at hand don't get done. When you are a boss, you got to operate like a boss.
Yes, that's right.
And when you are a lead, you got to act like a leader. And you can't be moved by other people's emotions or feelings or whatever they got going on, because when I'm lead, then I set the standard.
Yeah.
And the standard is being set and defined, and this is how it's going to be. And I don't have to be stank, nasty. I don't have to do all that. This is how it's going to go. And we're going to agree to disagree, but we're still going to follow my lead.
That's right. You still gonna talk, whether you want to or not.
And your respect is gained. Respect is gained, whether they like you or not. Because I know for me, when I was in those type of positions where I was the top of it all. I was like, look, at the end of the day, you don't have to like me, but you will respect me, and this is how it's gonna go. But what ended up happening is the kind of things that we have to talk about, because I guarantee it's a whole bunch of Black women out there dealing with the fact that they cannot stand for Black women to be their superior, because they digging into them, picking at them. Who you trying to please? White man don't care nothing about you. Yeah. If anything, let's help each other along, and that's something that I'm gonna have to get off my chest. We're gonna talk about that. That's happening.
Well, like I said, I was in a toxic work environment, in that same kind of situation, and so we know that it happens, and we need to talk about it because we need to do better. So we also need to do mentorship. If you're in a position of leadership, why you don't mentor because see, me, when I was in any position of, whether I'm in leadership or not, because to me, if you're a leader regardless if you hold the title or not.
That's right.
Period.
And so one of the things that I always do is I'm always collecting and giving information to people so that you can, once I know something and it helped me, I'm sharing it with everybody that I know and that I care about, so that it can help you. Whether you step ahead of me, you get promoted, that's cool. That's good. That's good for you. I don't look at it like, oh, I gave her that information and she got a promotion and I didn't. That's not why I gave it to you. I gave it to you for the promotion. I'm not going to be sitting up there upset if you got one. You know what I'm saying? Like, because everything, like we said before, what's meant for me is mine. I don't have to compete with anybody. The only person I'm competing with is Chandra. I'm competing with Chandra every day to do better, to think better, to move better, to eat better, whatever it is. I'm competing with me every day. I'm losing the battle on some of them, but I'm competing with me every day, So
your light gonna shine either way it goes. Your light is gonna shine, and when people see your shine, instead of them being jealous of it, they ought to come to you and figure out what is it about you. Right. It's just like with you, Chandra, when we do the Thursday nights, and you get on there and you get to talking.
But I like because I think we're in a season. I'm finding that as women, we are in a season of reclaiming ourselves, being introduced to who we are, and reclaiming our own identity, and not just being what the next person say or need or demands that we are.
You see my head tilt. That's also what I'm thinking.
And to piggyback off of what she said, we are beginning to really learn about ourselves. I'm learning a lot about me, because I didn't realize that my peace has become everything to me. And Chandra said,
that's part of our journey, because you have to be able to share.
This is just y'all. My head always working. So I like Journey to Self. It's a potential, because that's what you guys are talking about. And there's a lot of what we're talking about in that first season, like that we had kind of.
I think it has
journey to self, like defining your journey. Yeah, defining
your journey.
Well, your journey to defining yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and so I think that's important, because we talked about not letting a man heal you, but I also wanted to put in there because I think it's really important. And I don't even know, there's probably things that my dad, I have to think about it, but there was that topic that I talked about, like, what did I need from my dad that I didn't get? Because I feel like we repeat that in our relationships,
and look for that. And look for that.
Yeah, and so we look for that, right? So I think it's important to have that conversation, and also the one about don't make a man responsible for your healing. But I think that a lot of people do, and that's why I put that song on there by Teyana Taylor. I probably am going to, on some level, be the devil's advocate in that, because I know both of y'all was like, hell no, you don't let no man help you heal or whatever, be responsible for your healing. But in that song, if y'all listen to it, what she's saying is that well, the way I interpret it is that it's kind of like sometimes I need you to accept me, love me. I'm being vulnerable right now. Like I done some shit, and I need you to, I'm not saying what she said in there. She said you're gonna, be responsible for my healing. But when you listen to the whole song, it's kind of like I need you. It's not really you. It's daddy issues. It's that I done gave myself to men who didn't deserve me, and now that we together. I need you to just love me. You know what I'm saying? And so don't give up on me. Don't mistreat me because this stuff. Like I'm gonna need you to be a part. I'm gonna need you to be a part of my healing. Is what it was. So even though I understand what you guys are saying, that we can't make them responsible for our healing in that song, there's so I just want us to have dialogue about that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what?
I think that would be absolutely powerful because we can't heal without them.
Yeah.
There is a part of us that you won't even know how wounded you are until you come up against that.
Yeah.
You can't possibly know in a relationship how healed you are until someone shows up and push those buttons or scratch those old scars or test you or push you, or you can't possibly know until they show up. And then those issues, then you'll know how healed you really are or where the work needs to be continued at.
Yeah, and that is so true, because when you're going through the healing, it's okay to say, I can heal myself, especially when you're dealing with a man, but that's a lie within itself, because I came to the realization where I was like, man, I deal with somebody that when I need to speak, when I need to talk my feelings out, because I don't wear my feelings on my sleeve. And for me, anybody know anything about a Capricorn woman, we subdue how we feel. We don't really express how we feel. But I had to tell him, I said, you every time you listen to me, you hear my words, you don't get angry or frustrated when I'm talking to you. You're giving me a gift because you're allowing me to know that it's safe for me to express myself. Mm-hmm. When in the past, when I would deal with a guy and I began to tell him, this is what I don't want to hear all that. So it made me shut down. Mm-hmm. But I don't get that from this person. It's like, I'm here to hear you because I realize that you may be standing at the edge of a cliff getting ready to jump, and it's my job to make sure you don't jump. So yeah, I realized through that I'm healing a lot, because I didn't, even with my dad, I love my dad, bless him. But my daddy didn't hear me like that. It was like, it was like, and it took me, and we know as young girls
to start. That's why I think that conversation has to start with what I needed from my dad that I never got. Because whether it was to know him, some of us don't. I mean, I know my dad. I'm assuming all three of us do. But there are some women out there that have never met their father. So what does that represent to them? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What did I need from my father that I didn't get?
And that comes from, that's where we get that looking for love in all the wrong places.
Because you missed out on your first love. First love should protect you. My dad, I won't lie, he is my first love, because he showed me what it is to be a protective provider. And he professed his love for my mom as time went by, because he was always one. I used to think my daddy was mean. I used to think he was a hard man, and my mom was like, no, he's not. He's just strict. But as he got older, the more softer he became. But still understand, I had to deal with my dad criticizing me and my twins' weight. I